The anticipation builds for Sunday's season opener against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Mike Petraglia outside Paycor Stadium. We're here on Friday. The Bengals put in their final on-field preparations that typically include going through what to do in the red zone. That's an area of emphasis for the Bengals this year, of course, after they struggled in the low red area from the 10-yard line into the opponent's goal line. They struggled in 2021 of punching the ball in, running the ball effectively. That, of course, is one of the big reasons the Bengals went out and revamped their offensive line. 4/5 of the starters, of course, will be brand new. Of course, the other big reason they did that was to keep Joe Burrow from being sacked 51 times in the regular season and 19 more times in the playoffs. But again, a big part of the Bengals' new offensive line should be running the ball more effectively when the Bengals need to run the ball. And low red area, of course, is a big point of emphasis for that, because defenses like to really squish how much defensive area that they have to cover. And when you're in the low red zone, there's a lot less pass area to cover, and running the ball becomes much more of a premium. Well, with Joe Mixon and Chris Evans and Samaje Perine, the Bengals have three backs they believe that can run it in from anywhere inside the 20-yard line. But of course, they're going to have to open up the holes to be able to do that. Another part of improving the red zone offense this year will be using the tight end. With the wide receivers that they have in Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, how does Hayden Hurst fit in? Joe Burrow told me earlier in training camp that Hayden Hurst has a great catch radius. He is somebody that can be effective in the red zone. So look for that on Sunday when the Bengals get into the red zone against the Steelers. Does Joe Burrow drop back and go to Hayden Hurst, or at least target him once or twice? That could be a distinct possibility. Another point of emphasis on Sunday, with weather possibly being an issue, there is a chance of heavy rain throughout the day on Sunday, taking care of the football. And Zach Taylor said, when evaluating his offense and how can they improve, how can Joe Burrow improve in 2022, one area was simply taking care of the football, not turning the ball over. We all remember how the Cleveland Browns game went here last year, right before the bye. The Bengals had a pick six. Joe Burrow threw to the outside corner, and it was picked off by Denzel Ward. Ran it back for the touchdown. That really changed the tenor of that entire game. Bengals never recovered and were blown out by the Browns here at Paycor the week before the bye. Bengals want to get off on a strong foot this season, not turning the ball over. I asked Zach Taylor here on Friday after practice how much of an issue is turning over the ball early in the season, and whether or not he saw the game on Thursday night between the Bills and the Rams, where the Rams and Matthew Stafford turned the ball over 4 times. And he said, no, I was watching a Star Wars movie with his son, but he was made well aware in reading the box score and watching the highlights after what happened in that game, and that is turnovers played a huge role in that Bills blowout victory over the Rams. That's something Zach Taylor wants to avoid in his own Bengals here on Sunday against the Pittsburgh Steelers. As for Trent Taylor, he has a hamstring issue. He was at practice. He is probably a game-time decision. We'll know more over the weekend as we get closer to kickoff. Zach Taylor would not definitely confirm that Kwame Lassiter would be the punt returner if Trent Taylor is unable to go because of the hamstring. So keep an eye on that early in the game. If Trent Taylor doesn't go, who is deep for the Bengals in the punt return game? Could be Tyler Boyd, although I would tend to think that the Bengals do not want to expose one of their 3 best receivers in a situation like that early in the season. Again, there's a lot to keep an eye on for Sunday's season opener against Pittsburgh. We'll have you covered all weekend long, throughout the game on Sunday, and of course all season long on CLNSmedia.com. My What to Look For feature will be up on CLNS Media. Follow my coverage on Twitter at Trags, Trags. And of course, follow along here on the Jungle Roar Podcast YouTube page. Subscribe at the link below. I want to hear all of your comments, good, bad, and indifferent, as to what you think of my prognosis and opinions about your Cincinnati Bengals in the 2022 season. Outside Paycor Stadium, Mike Petraglia, CLNS Media.